It's Noni Juice. You know we keeping it juicy.
Spilling truth with a smile so sweet. Talking all the buzz from the blogs and the tweets. From the headline to the hometown streets. She bring the flavor, can't nobody compete. Something juicy with Noni Juicy. Talk of the town, yeah, she got the news. Keeping it fun, keeping it true. It's something juicy, keeping it juicy too.
Yes, that is right. It is time for something juicy. All right, welcome back, everybody. You're tapped into Jammin with Juice. And yes, let's get into some things that have taken place within the last 24 hours. The very first one, I'm going to do a local story here that we kind of talked about a little bit yesterday when it comes to the man named Martell Haire. Now, Martell Haire has officially been arrested in Oklahoma, according to a statement from Alderman Mark Chambers Jr. Martell D. Haire is accused of the shooting death of 16-year-old Marquise Champion on October 20th. Champion was Chambers' nephew, and two other teens were also injured in the shooting. Now, the Milwaukee Police Department confirmed that Haire was arrested in Norman, Oklahoma on Wednesday by U.S. Marshals. Before the shooting, Haire had been wanted by local authorities for the past 2 years on felony charges for child sexual assault. After Champion was killed, a $25,000 reward had been offered for information leading to his arrest. He has been charged with 1 count of first-degree reckless homicide, 2 counts of first-degree reckless injury, 1 count of first-degree recklessly endangering safety, use of a dangerous weapon, and 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon. If convicted, he could face 141 years, 6 months in prison and be fined up to $250,000. So he has been arrested, you guys, and you know, we did bring this up yesterday, like I said, because we were talking about the fact that after he killed this young man, he went on the run again, and he was already on the run for those child sexual assault claims. And so the fact that this man got all the way to Oklahoma, and my biggest thing was always, he was out here in these streets in Milwaukee while being a wanted man. People knew who he was. They call him, quote unquote, the freaky chef, because he was making, you know, meals for people and posting them. And he was kicking it, like you said, with some known people here in the city at that like warehouse pool party and stuff like that. So people knew that he was just out here roaming around in these streets. Yes, just gyrating around, doing whatever it is that he wanted to do. And then it got to the point.
I did see him at that pool party, though. You know,
you did see him?
Yeah, because I watched the video.
So you recognized his face?
Oh, after you had told me everything that went down, I was like, damn. You know, again, I don't believe any one of those gentlemen who was out there kicking it with him should have allowed his behavior, allowed him to even be around them. You know,
right? Exactly. I don't think that they should have at all either. But it's just so crazy because, like I said, he was on the run for like some child sexual assault charges allegedly, and then the reason why all of this
because he was freaky as hell in the pool parties videos. That's what I'm saying.
You knew that.
I'm just because he. I mean, look.
What was he doing at that? Because I didn't see his face there. I didn't.
You know what? Never mind. I want to put it all out there.
Of what the freakiness he was doing at the warehouse pool party.
I really don't want to get into all the details. However, I just know when they did that pool party, it was one of the dirtiest pool parties I've ever seen inside of a warehouse.
No, it was disgusting. Yeah. The water was brown and it was just nasty. If y'all recall that nasty warehouse pool party, we talked about it at before.
Yeah, but we definitely talked about it.
We definitely talked about it. But it's just disgusting to me because, like we're saying, a lot of people knew where his whereabouts were, and this entire situation could have been prevented if they would have just gave him up in the first place. You know what I mean? But instead, they chose to support him by purchasing his plates. They chose to support him by, you know, kicking with him at pool parties, and they just decided that they weren't gonna, you know, take this man in when he should have been taken in, because if he would have been, this situation wouldn't have happened. So my condolences to the family. Shout out to, I won't say shout out, that sounds like I'm, you know, but whatever. Shout out to Mark Chambers, Alderman Mark Chambers. My heart goes out to you and your entire family, and hopefully you guys can get some sort of peace from this, knowing that he is officially arrested for his crimes that he has committed on multiple people at this point.
It would be good to have Mark Chambers call in and tell us how he really feels. Do they feel like they got justice? And I mean, honestly, you know, a lot of times after somebody does take your loved one, I don't think there's any kind of justice you can get because you can't get them back. I don't care if somebody paid me $1 million,
yeah, like
$10 million. I can't get my people's back, man. So, and it's utterly devastating, you know. And the thing is, a lot of people, you know, who want to live by that street code or whatever, they would stand by this. Like, oh, he was supposed to go on a run. That's what he's supposed to do. You know, and I've seen it time and time again happen in my life. But I'm glad the police did what they were supposed to do to catch that gentleman. You know, because at the end of the day, he was only going to go ahead and wreak havoc on the next person's life. He was only going to go on with that same, you know, lifestyle. You know, and this is the type of stuff that people glamorize inside their music, and I just denounce it. You know, I denounce it, man. And it's just, man, it's interesting, man, when we talk about ideas like this and how it still impacts all of us. Because, you know, sure, yes, Mark Chambers' family was impacted, but it really impacts the rest of the community around us. You know, people who had to interact with this gentleman or saw him out on the streets and then even have to hear this story. It's like, man, you really don't know who you can trust and who's around. That's why just yesterday we were asking about leaders, you know, here in the Milwaukee community. Should we even trust leaders anymore? Do we believe in them? And I'm not just talking about leaders from a political standpoint. I'm talking about leaders from our teachers to the artists to people in our city who quote unquote have clout, who believe that they famous. Because that gentleman, since he was at the pool party, I guarantee you believe he felt like he was famous, especially after you take somebody's life. A lot of people don't even take people's lives over just you know, because of money things. It's more so, hey, I'm just trying to bring a name. I'm just trying to bring fame to my name. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So I'll take somebody out and just let everybody else out here know that I'm a killer and this is what I do, which is uncool, you know? So we need to stop that.
No, I 100% agree with you. And just tell people when you know something is going on. Because like we said yesterday, it's all about community. And if you know that there is a pest or a virus in our community, we have to get them out. You got to clean them out. And if you know about it, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. A lot of these people, even like some of the youth, like y'all know what youth is out here doing certain things. And I understand you might not want them to get in trouble for it or whatever. And you might try to talk to them on your own. But if they're not listening, something has to happen. I'm not necessarily saying jail, but I'm just saying we need to know who some of these people are who are committing these crimes, and y'all be knowing. It be your cousins and your baby mamas and all that, just doing whatever. Just tell people. That's all I have to say about that one. So I'm just glad that this freaky chef is being put away. Now, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the government shutdown. That is officially over. It was the longest government shutdown in history, and the bill was sent to Trump to sign over. So, after a historic 43-day shutdown that left federal workers unpaid and travelers stranded, the House voted 222 to 209 to pass a bill reopening the government, and they sent it over to Trump. And last night, I saw his signature on the dotted line. All right. He called the bill a very big victory. It was a very big victory. And the shutdown, which the longest in U.S. history, ended after weeks of partisan gridlock over an expiring health coverage tax credit that Democrats wanted to extend. So if you recall, 8 members of the Senate Democratic Caucus voted on Sunday evening to proceed to a House-passed continuing resolution. And pretty much the government shutdown is over with. Why are you laughing?
Bro, because the Juicy Jammers and the Juicy Chatters are funny as hell.
Bro, you made me think I said a word wrong. I was trying to make sure I didn't say these words wrong.
No, you
know my word, and I be messing it up.
You're good. But again, wait,
real quick. Let me just finish real quick. Okay. So, Republicans refused to add the extending the health credit to the bill, and so you know it is what it is. They said that they would vote in December on the tax credits, but who knows if that will ever even get approved? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I was looking at Trump yesterday sign his name on that piece of paper, I was just so infuriated. I was just you don't even care what I'm saying right now.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm gonna get to that.
I'm gonna get to that. It's like, I want to say what I want to say.
I'm gonna get to that, but I'm talking about this too.
Okay, well, I'll just try to make this quick then.
It's pop culture.
I'm just very upset. I'm upset that it had to be this way. And the main part that I'm upset about is, to me, in my opinion, I don't feel like the Democrats fought back hard enough when it came to letting the public know that this was not their fault. All right? Like, I feel like the narrative completely was just on them, and Trump hammered down on that yesterday. He was just like, the Democrats did this, the Democrats is why the federal workers didn't have their money, the Democrats. And it's like, no, it was y'all who were being greedy, and it was y'all who didn't want to keep the Obamacare as to why it was held up like that. And so I just wish that we would not, I keep saying we, because at this point I'm like on that side, but it's just like, you have to get a backbone. You got to get a backbone. And I understood the bigger picture that was at hand, and I understand the federal workers, you know, they needed to get their money and people needed to get their SNAP benefits, but it was a bigger picture, y'all. And that's all I want to say. So for people to be like, oh, they should have caved in, they should have, you know, allowed for this to not go as long and this is all their fault, I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that, because now even more people are going to be hurting out here. And so it's just frustrating.
I think they were forced to choose the lesser of two evils.
Man, bro. And I'm tired of that too. It's been that way for how long? 8 years?
Basically, folks either were finna go without food or have to go without health care. One of the two. And right now, food is, you know, for the short term, but for everybody else out there, when you're talking about the healthcare ideas, it seems to me that those benefits for you guys are in jeopardy, you know, especially if you're of an older demographic or immunocompromised. You know, you're already sick, may be suffering from diabetes and all these other ideas, but it is unfortunate. However, what in Carrie's world, in Carrie's mind, what would you have wanted the Democrats to do? Just stick everything out? And,
yes. I would say stick everything out and do a better job of putting the narrative out there that is, y'all are not the reason why it's taking long. Like, flip the script on them. Let people know that really it's the Republicans that's holding everything up because they don't want basic rights and needs for the people.
You know,
like, don't just take it that you see people are blaming you for this, which they do this on purpose, you know what I mean? So they could put it in your mind and try to program you like, oh, Democrats don't care about the people. And it's like, no, fight back, do something. That's why I appreciate Jasmine Crockett so much, because she is somebody who fights. She is feisty, and she does not allow for narratives to be out there. But as a whole, as a group, I just think that the entire thing, like the entire party, needs to be changed, and they all got to figure out how to better get y'all messages across to the general public.
I mean, you know what? I think it would have been an interesting strategy for the Democrats to just, like you just said, stand their ground, and ultimately just be like, you know what? If this is what the Republicans want, we gonna be on the same type of time. If this is what the Republicans gonna fight against, then we finna fight against them, and just allow, you know, all the mayhem that could have went down here in America, here in the city of Milwaukee, here in the state of Wisconsin to be a go. Because ultimately, Donald Trump has said before, he just wants to give power back to the states. You know, he doesn't really want the federal government to have, you know, a lot of say-so over what states, particular states do. So we did see Governor Tony Evers release those SNAP benefits as soon as he got his hands on them, you know, but it would have been up to each and every governor to sit back and try to figure out something for their people. And if that is the America that Trump wanted, like you just said, Juice, the Democrats could have and should have stood on it, because at the end of the day, we all know for the past 70 years there has not been a better healthcare system than the ACA, the Obamacare. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, do you think that the Republicans have anything to deal with the immunocompromised people, even though the fact that Donald Trump himself is an 80-year-old man? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's up there in age, and now his legs are swelling. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, I guess he feels like, I got money, so it don't matter. I can afford what I need to afford, no matter the cost.
And you know, that's the difference. That's the difference between the righteousness and ratchetness of people. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that he is wretched for that. You know, I think that he's an evil man for that. You know, to only think about himself and only think that, hey, I'm good. So, hey, you know what? If you can do it, you can. But if not, you can't. Like, that's what I said, man. Vote for me in 2052 when I become your president. It's not about me, you know, being successful. Well, I don't even know if I have that much money, because a president only makes $250,000. It's not about all of that. For me, it's really just about bringing humanity together, and I just want to be the heart of the people, man.
Okay, well, when you become the president, are you going to think about bringing the penny back? Because
I like this conversation.
is officially gone, y'all. The penny, the last U.S. mint has officially made the last penny, and it was pressed in Philadelphia yesterday, marking the end of a 232-year tradition. So the government decided to stop making pennies to save some money because each penny costs almost 4 cents to make, which is crazy to me. But it means that the U.S. was losing money every single year by keeping it in production. So they hit the button to mint the final penny, and he said that the change will save taxpayers $56 million. The last few pennies made will be auctioned off to collectors. Now, pennies still will be able to, they will still have legal use. So it's not like pennies just don't have any value anymore at all and you can't use it. You definitely still can't use the penny. It's just that no new ones are going to be made. It says the last time that a coin was discontinued was in 1857 when the half cent was retired. Now, this is something Trump is supporting by ending the penny, and he obviously is calling it a waste of money because he thinks everything is a waste of money today, doesn't he?
Well, I mean,
but yeah,
they do go on to say it takes like 4 cents to even make a penny.
Yeah, so
he's not wrong in that perspective, in that frame of mind. But I will say Donald Trump is viewed to be the crypto president. So at some point, he's going to usher in some kind of cryptocurrency to make, and this is what a lot of people who are still in support of Donald Trump are thinking, that he's going to make everybody rich through cryptocurrency.
I don't know. It's like, is it something wrong in their head that they believe this? Because the only people who I see benefiting from that are his friends. Do you think Lil Rico from the hood is about to like? I mean, he could.
Look,
I'm not saying he can't. Anybody can get into crypto, but I guess what I'm saying is like, who really is going to benefit the most?
Yeah, it's interesting. I would say who would benefit the most from a cryptocurrency boom are people who are in cryptocurrency currently. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely made a couple $1,000 when Donald Trump was president with my cryptocurrency that I had. All right, and I still do have cryptocurrency. I believed in it since 2016. So eventually, I think it'll be something. But I think this is also just natural. I ain't gonna say it's a natural projection because I do believe that they don't want money anymore because we're going to move into a cashless society.
However, get the chip.
However, I do think this was inevitable because this is their plan. You know, so eventually penny will go away, and I would tell everybody out there right now who's listening to the sound of my voice, save your pennies, hold on to it.
Oh yeah.
You know, they may not be worth much to you right now.
It's
but
history at this point.
It's definitely history. So save your pennies, man, and eventually, in a time where you're not even here anymore, your grandchildren can say, my grandpappy Hooks, grandpappy Jammin left me a penny, and now it's worth 200,000. Yeah, my pop.
I can see you being a pop. But yeah, keep your pennies, you guys. It just makes me so sad though, because I mean, I didn't use change like that. Let's be honest. Like, even when it comes down to like the parking meters and stuff like that, it's on my phone now, which I literally don't really like to use any type of coins. But I did back in the day like to flip the pennies in like the wishing well and stuff like that.
Oh, that was fire.
Like you would like flip them into like little watering holes and stuff, and you would make your wishes. So I feel like that's gone. What are you gonna do now? Man, we're taking everything from kids.
Well, the thing is though, again, kind of how what you just put out there, Juice. Like, there's a lot of people, a lot of younger generation who's never even really touched money like that. They've only ever had to touch a debit card or a credit card. That's it.
Same with photographs.
Yeah,
they don't touch photographs anymore.
Yeah, same with photographs. Like, honestly, Juice, I went into Chick-fil-A maybe about like a month and a half ago, and I was baffled. I wasn't baffled, but I also felt like I was getting older, so I had to talk down to this young lady. But I went into Chick-fil-A, ordered my 8-count nugget meal, you know, and I whip out some change, and the change that I whipped out was a golden dollar. Like, I had like $6 golden on me. And
who just had $6 golden on hand?
I got some golden dollars for real. I got a couple
on hand.
On hand, yeah. I don't have them on me right now, but they're back at the crib. I got golden dollars.
What made you have?
You know, honestly, because I went to the laundromat, and then the laundromat thing gave me a whole bunch of golden dollars in my change. That's why. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, so I end up trying to pay the young lady or whatever about $8 or whatever in golden dollar change. And she was like, what in the F is this? She was like, what is this? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is money. She was like, I've never seen this in my life. She was like, no, I got to call my manager. She was like 16. She was like 16, but she's never seen a golden dollar before. So it was baffling to me, for one. But secondly, I taught that lady a lesson because I was like, this is American money. I don't know if you know this or not, but this is American currency. So she went and got her manager, which was a little bit older than her. Maybe he was like 25, but he was like, yes, this is money.
And you know what? I actually love that story because I think it goes into our main topic for today
Oh,
about
snap.
parenting.
Oh, snap.
Because as a 16-year-old, and your parents should be teaching you that type of stuff. Your parents should be showing you like the old ways of doing stuff, like having those conversations and showing them what we used to do back in the day and what is real money, or even the school system. I mean, how the school system completely did not let this child know that these things exist for like their money. It's money. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I think it could go down to parenting as well, which is why we are going to get into parenting for our conversation today, because one parent in particular is currently going viral right now. Of course, always in the headlines. I'm talking about Kim K, Miss Kimmy Kardashian, and she is in the headlines for her parenting because a photo is going around of Little Northwest right now with a finger piercing. She has a finger piercing. Yes, she has her finger pierced, and she is only 12 years old. Do y'all think that that is acceptable? Is that something you would allow your kids to do? I'm starting to feel like parenting is getting away from being parents, and they just want to be your homeboy and your homegirl, because I don't think that that is acceptable. But what do y'all think? We are going to get into that when we come back from our 3-minute juice break. So make sure you guys don't go anywhere. We got more Jammin with Juice up next.